Hey, hey, hey. I think the volume now works. I'm sorry about that. I just tried to log on before, and sometimes, like things, it's delays. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like delays before we even get started. I'm sorry for those of you that were on before. I had technical difficulties. I have ear pods, and the audio sometimes switches onto my phone and not my computer. It has a mind of its own. So my apologies. Didn't know there was no sound, so I'm back on. I'm actually doing a reading for my winner tonight, and I was rushed so fast I didn't even fill out the information in the description box, but no, right after this live stream that I will. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. For those of you that don't know, that this is a shadow reading type of channel. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why you're attracting who you're attracting, why things are playing out, whether you can shape shift the energy. That's why. Yeah, Gloria, did you see that before? That I was on, and then like there was no sound. And then I said, oh, that means something. I said, whenever like something happens like before, or something happens out of the ordinary, that it has something to do with like the energy, because the reading's for you and you're a magnet of whom what comes into your life, right? So I feel like the energy is that someone can't get out of their own way. That's one, and it's because too much thinking, too much emotion. And I feel like you have that too, where you can tend to get overstimulated when too much thought, too much of emotion, and that this person has that. So you're again a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So again, brings out the insecurity in this person, where I feel like it brings out the insecurity in you. Otherwise, you feel like you're pretty confident. This person feels like they're pretty confident. So there's like this energy, but then it's also like, is it so turbulent? And I just feel like delays. You can't get me on your TV now. I wonder why that is. Settings, like I said, it's like always something wrong. And I think the reason why is there's a reason why that people get stuck in stupid. It's because we get overstimulated, and overstimulation is that, and that's the energy here, where it's like, now this isn't working. And that'll happen when you're connected to somebody that's energy is all over the place. No, I know, that's what they said. No, you can't. That's like, you can't get it on your TV now. That's what I'm saying. So there's always a problem. That's the energy. But you can see this one, right? You're hearing me, you're on here now. Eventually you'll be able to probably get it. I think that they also change settings a lot. YouTube is always updating everything. Believe me, my sound has nothing to do with your connection to your TV. It has to do with the that YouTube is always changing things and settings. Right, that's what I'm saying. You have me on phone, so you're gonna have to watch me on your phone. But I'm telling you, it's like you'll have to go back into your settings, because things get glitchy. Like before, I didn't change the no sound. The sound clicked on to my phone. It didn't click on to my computer. My phone was there. I didn't do it. So it's like, that's the energy. Hey, good to see you too, Mose. So keep it in mind. And what's good is you can come back and watch this. Only bad thing is you have to type in your computer. All right. The underlying energy is guilt. And that would explain. It's like, I feel like someone that you're attached to feels guilty, though they may not be expressing it. People that are emotionally not intelligent usually don't. They create facades. People that have woundings don't. They create illusions like they don't care. But I feel like you're in separation from a person that does care. They feel guilty. It's just, maybe that's the delay. that this person wants to come back, but they keep getting in their own way. They get overstimulated. They're thinking too much, and then nothing works out. Everything feels wrong. And it's been a series of nothing's working out for this person that you're connected to. And that's because they have wounds around relationships, and so do you. So understand their delays and their procrastination is triggering your wounds, because you're like, it's not that difficult. It's like, why do you make it so difficult? And it's because too much thought, too much emotions from past experiences. That past experiences are what's dictating this person's thing. So when they're in the relationship with you, I don't feel like that they see or even care. They'll act like they don't even care. And it's because they're disassociated. Disassociated means they don't have feeling one way or the other about it. They're very mental, very logical, very analytical, which is also very triggering for you, because when it comes to relationships, it's not supposed to be that way. You know, the person needs to show some sort of vulnerability, it's be transparent, and they don't do that. And they see that now, because now that you're in separation from them, they've had time to see things from a different perception. Doesn't mean that they like it. It means like, oh, now they see like, oh, well, you're holding my feet to the fire. You're making me come back, which is why I felt all those delays before. Like, I didn't change the sound. I had to log off. Now I have to log back on. And now you're like, and now it's not coming on my TV. Like, what the fuck? Why is everything so difficult? And that's the underlying energy. That's what I was saying. And it's because this person actually feels guilty, something that they don't normally feel. Like, and it's because it's, again, part of that is, well, I know that you're in a place because I've taken so long and I haven't really gotten it, and I haven't really thought about it, because I'm an avoidant style. Avoidant, I don't look at things. I know that you're you're disgusted. So it's almost like you had to get to the place of like, I fucking hate you. Almost like, or I'm on the verge, this close of hating you, like, because you're so triggered by this person, because any chance they had to be vulnerable, to be sensitive, to apologize, they didn't do it. And they know it. And they know it because they were so sure you were coming back. They were so sure that you were going to be the one that gave. They were so sure. And that's the problem. It's like, you're not that person that they perceive that you were going to be. You're like, I have dignity. I have dignity. I'm not going to sit there and hand your breadcrumbs. And this person was arrogant while they were doing it. I feel like self-righteous, no shit. Self-righteous. That's what I felt. I felt like, yeah, this person also was like self-righteous. And that's exactly what it felt like. It's like that, I don't care. Like, I don't have to look at my things. I didn't say this, where you're like, trying to be like let me know what's going on in the relationship, and to try and have a conversation and say, okay, I have an understanding of the relationship, and then you trying to hold to the standard of whatever the standard was, and then this person saying no after they claimed it. And it's because they know what they should do, but they don't really feel comfortable in giving you your spot, and that's the trigger for you. It's like, give me my place. It's like you refuse to give me your place. Instead, you stay angry. And it's like you want me to be angry, and then you point the finger like it's me. It's like, this is what this person does. They deliberately are like handicapped, like when it comes to emotionally, like, I'm not going to look at anything, I'm avoiding. And then when you get annoyed, then it's like your fault. You see why I don't open up as much, because this is the way that you act. You judge me. Like, they have an issue thinking that people judge them, when really you're not judging them. It's like, this is how they avoid, which is it's a very manipulative tactic. And here it was. You did have expectations, but this person also had expectations. They had expectations based on who they perceived that they thought that you were. And those expectations is, oh, you're kind, you're a giver, You look like you have a life going on. You have like, so you're gonna, if you're with me and you like me, you're going to make me a part of that, where it's like, no, you need to earn it. Yeah, so you stop sending messages. The time in between is growing longer. You start, well, and that's what it is. It's like a game. It's a game. So what needs to happen is you need to cut that shit off, Gloria, all the way, because this is what this person knows. It's like in the beginning, if you're just playing tennis, because this is what people say. Well, they'll say, "I'm not giving as much, but I'm still giving." So as long as you again have that door open, a little tiny crack, that's all that that person needs. You have to starve them. And that means you need to not give a shit whether they come to you or not. And the reason why is because there's parts of you that don't really know whether or not this person really cares, because they play that many fucking games. And it's because they just, I don't want to, like, I don't want to hold the standard. I don't want to hold the standard. You have expectations of me. That's overstimulating for me. It's like, I don't know. I can't make a decision up for like what I want tomorrow for dinner. And you're asking me for the rest of my life, or me to have be a commitment. And so when it's like that, they will be acceptance with just a sliver. And it's not because you're not worth it. It's like, well, I can take my time now and figure it out. Where here it is, you're like, no, 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 motherfucker. It's like, I gave you less so that you would again have this awakening. No, they're avoidant. They're avoidant. I just told you that. You starve that guy. You starve him. And if it's a girl that you were dealing with, you starve her. It's again, the rule is the same. It's like, because it's like, well, I'm avoidant. Well, let me tell you, if there's real love there, that person is going to put in a little bit more energy. They're going to figure it out. I know it's hard, but your choice of focus is your greatest tool. And so you also have to say, well, this is information that you're an empath. So again, the only thing that would be able to fight that energy is passion, another passion. So because this person represents passion, that's what they represent. So again, your choice of focus. You're giving too much to this person. You think a crack is like, no, you have to starve that person. And not just starve them, but show that you're having a good time. It's again like, cut that ESP connection, especially if they're a narcissist. You have to cut it. It's again, and you can do it. It's easy, because remember, the narcissist is really insecure and like a child that never grew up, that never got nurtured. Also, there's that side. However, you see the self-righteous asshole side, because that's why you're like, no, this person flips back and forth between being an asshole and being insecure, so I never win. You win when you starve that person out and you have a great time, because you're not playing the game. And it's like the child is like, what? You're leaving me? I know, that's why the chemistry. But the chemistry, if there wasn't, you wouldn't learn the lesson. And also know is how much you give is how big the wound is going to be. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's going to make you tired and weary. And that's what it is. It's like, I keep you hooked. And that's because with an empath, you have to understand the narcissist gives and then they don't give, and then sometimes they give. So it's almost like you're always like waiting. And you also don't know what type of mood they're going to be in, because they're not healed. So too much thought, too much of emotion, that's this person. And they're not ethical, so they're always strategizing, because that's what narcissists do. They feel like, well, I have to take care of myself. It's all about me. It's like, because no one took care of me when I was like 3 years old. So I have to be there. That I'm not going to let you have that type of control. Why? Because mommy wasn't there. And so I don't trust anybody. So understand, it's like you have to be that parent. It's like, yeah, where you're like, and not nice parent either, because that's what they're going to associate with. Because understand, narcissists usually had a mom that spoiled and nurtured and was like, oh, it doesn't matter what you do. Or they were complete like a bitch and didn't give any love. and then they're with somebody that's either their spouse was the asshole, if they were like, oh no, to compensate, and then or vice versa. So understand the paradoxal, they never saw a balanced relationship. They just saw, well, you could either be the asshole that has all the power, or you could be the weak one that you can't trust. I'd rather be the asshole. And that's they made a decision. But empath and narcissists are empaths. They're just not healed. It's that they need healing. And that's why, again, you're not going to get anywhere if you like play the game. It's like, because they can play the game. You got to, again, get strong. And spirit say, oh, you're weak. You're too weak. You're an empath. You're one of those sensitive, weak ones. It's like, no, we're going to bring this asshole to you. Believe me, you're going to get strong. It's like, because and it's really about that. Like this, the narcissist will always want to see everything perfect, and they know you're a good catch. The key is they don't want you to know that you're a good catch. So that's the issue with narcissists. So the way that you manipulate this energy is you got to, again, work on yourself. Make a way where there is no way, just for you, through your passion. And then, like I said, once you work on your craft, you get attention and you bring out your perfectionism. Well, then now this person sees that they don't have that much control. Because when you're invested in your own life, that's, again, if there's real love, believe me, the narcissist still wants love. That's what it is have a love, but it's have a love affair with yourself. Not just work on yourself, have a love affair with yourself. Be the vibration of love. You have to. It's, again, through your passion for life. That's how you co-create with the universe. Because, again, the universe will work through you, through gut intuition and knowing. Well, it also works through the environment to bring in the people, situations, and experiences that would help you also train this person. Because you can't train a narcissist yourself. They have to feel as if there's something at stake. Remember, they're shady. They're like, well, I'm going to gamble on the fact that I don't need to do it. Well, if you're interactive in life, then they don't know. It's like, because they see you with a lot of different people. They see you having a good time, and they can feel that you're energetically not there. Otherwise, you'll never win with a narcissist. You won't. And I'm not telling you that to scare you, because just working on yourself isn't going to do it. Remember, this person represents passion, and they know how to turn it on, and there's a lot of chemistry. That's what these relationships are. And then it's like, well, I can control you through the chemistry. Well, what you're saying is, no, you can't, motherfucker, because I get my emotional fulfillment from a lot of different places. My cup is so full that you only get the driblets that come out of it. So you're not all that. And that's how you train a narcissist, because they're still going to like you. The ego is going to be like, well, it's like, I'm chasing you. Otherwise, you're too weak. And it's like, believe me, it's like, you think that spirit brings people into your life to make you change, to integrate certain other things. And this person's too much masculine. I'm going to control. I'm an emperor. I'm this, I'm that. It's like there's a big ego. And so you want to make the person to know whether they really love you, they have to surrender that ego. And otherwise, you'll always feel like, what are you like? It's like, you don't want to commit to me. You're always in search of something. Yeah, because the answer is not outside of them. The kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. This person's looking for the answer. They're a narcissist. I'm flawed. So it's, again, in that, I can't let you know how good you are. Don't you understand that? I know how great you are. I know that you love me like no other person will ever love me. But that scares the shit out of me, because it makes me have to go deep inside. It makes me have to look at myself. And then I see how flawed I really actually am. And then I'm annoyed. I'm a little annoyed with you. And then you have expectations, which makes me overstimulated. So the karmic theme would always be like, I can't get what I want. And where you can get what you want, but you have to embody it. It's not just, I think it, we got to embody the energy. I can physically feel him when he is thinking of me. I told him to surrender. Yeah, I think it's again, it's like you have to make them surrender. No one volunteers. Yeah, okay, I have a lot of trauma. I'm going to surrender. No, it's like, it's more like the same way that this person's trying to scare you. It's like you got to scare them, but it's not like, hey, I'm trying to scare you, manipulate you. It's like, listen, you're not giving it to me. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get it. And so it's like, and that's what Spirit's saying. Spirit's saying, you're not doing enough of that. There's still an energetic way where even when you're separated, that this person knows like you're kind of like want them to all of a sudden change. People don't change by saying change, please change. You make them change by you changing. And that's what you're not getting. It's like not saying that you're not working on yourself, but I feel like the constrained energy is that. It's like you're not together, but this person does have a hold on you. And it's like, and that's a normal thing. So I'm not like picking on you either, Gloria. It's just like, well, it's a normal thing. You have a lot of chemistry with someone and you know their good parts and they've shown you that. And it's, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, listen, we're in go time. If you're not a little bit strong, get a backbone now, you're going to lose the game. And like you're in war right now. Remember, that's what God says it's your job to bring that motherfucker to me because all I am is unconditional love. That's all I am. And that person is in their ego. So if they really love you, they're going to surrender their ego, but you got to help me. Otherwise, I can't help you because this is a co-creation process. I gave you free will. And you're not like choosing the part of you still holding on with this. You got to get strong because they show this person a side that they didn't know. Because the one thing that I noticed with empaths, as I am one, we like comfortability. Like who the fuck doesn't, right? But it's like we like it to a point that we like to make things cozy. We like to like do homey things. We like to do, and really spirits is like they don't get that. It's like because understand they won't appreciate it. They take it for granted and then it becomes boring. So understand it's like they don't get that. It's like it doesn't mean that they can't come and watch a movie with you and they can't do things, but no one's earned that. And a lot of times the narcissist will come right in there and they'll make themselves at home, like and let you cater to them and fan them and eat it up and you'll think, well, you're going to do that for me too. And that's where you go wrong. It's like because they will not. You have to teach a person how you want to be treated. And you know how that's done? You say, look at this. I took myself out to dinner. No, I didn't know you were coming, so I didn't get you anything. Oh, yeah, well, like I'm living my life. It's like you're not that important. It's like you didn't earn that spot in my life. Otherwise, the person won't know. And then you'll be mad 7 months later to be like, every night I made dinner for this person and I've done so much and they're not reciprocating. And it's because they don't know how. And they feel like they don't need to. And there's nothing worse than a person that feels that they don't need to do something for you. It's like, you're acting like it's chore to do for me. It's like, why, when meanwhile, how an empath is, I love to do for you. I love to nurture you. Very different energy. So you have to be like that, where that person says, oh, this person, they have a good cash. They have all the ingredients and they have a lot there too. Look at all that they have. And then you need to, again, enjoy that and not give them anything. It's like, and be like, you haven't earned it in my life. It's like you're looking at all that I could do for you, but have you thought about what you could do for me? No. And that's how you know this person's in their ego. And so by holding back and playing this game and only giving the sliver, trust me, it's like it'll go further and further apart. It'll be like, and then you're in an ego struggle, in a Mexican standstill. It's like, no, It's like we're not playing that game. What you're going to see is my ass out there having a good time and looking real good too. Looking real good. Hair's going to be done. Makeup's going to be done. I'm going to be dressed up and I'm going to be the belle of the ball. That's right. I'm going to be the belle of the fucking ball. And you're going to be sorry. It's like, because I know I'm a good catch. But yeah, that's what it is. It's like he doesn't, like they focus too much on this physical, because a narcissist is fragmented. They went through trauma, and in order to deal with that trauma, they detached. As we maybe not in this reading, but in the last one and all the other ones, they tend to be detached. And so it's like, I don't really know what I feel, and I'm not emotionally intelligent, and this relationship makes me go deep and makes me think, and that's a lot of work for me. And I'm used to not doing anything, and I'm used to being smart and sly and getting what I want. Here for a good time, not a long time, darling. But now I have a connection to you. So how can I have my cake and eat it too? How can I have, and really that's why I said it's not about that. It's about Spirit saying, you got to show this person that, hey, you're not going to give it to me. I can get it other places. It's like, I can get it. It's not like I can. Like, you don't get that red light special. You're thinking that you do. Hey, in the beginning, when I first meet you, you get it. I roll out the red carpet. The matinee guy comes out, greets you. We give you the deluxe. But after you cross me and you do this, and the person's going to come back, oh no, darling. What you get is like the $100 99 special, like motel that's haunted, that the bathroom doesn't work. That's what you get. You don't get the good version of me. You just don't. You have to earn it, and you have to hold true. And if it's too much work, because with the narcissist, they'll be like, this is too much work, then you already weeded them out. Because like I said, otherwise this person's going to be in denial, which is all of a sudden I have amnesia. You see all this, that time, the space in between that you're playing ping pong and this person isn't getting back. They're like, oh, this time I'm not going to get back to you for another 2 months. Then the week after, maybe I'll get back to you in 5 months. Whatever it is, it goes further and further. And then what they hope is you're not going to remember. Oh, I don't remember. That was so long ago. You're bringing that up now, like all of a sudden. And meanwhile, you've been holding on to that shit inside of you, like boiling, while this person is pretending to be like, has been in denial about it. Well, that's what I'm saying. The emotional connection is a spiritual connection, but is a past life connection. And past life connection could be one lifetime, a million lifetimes, or just one lifetime from a million years ago. I mean, the love, again, there's no transcends time or space. So, but what it means is that there's lessons that haven't been learned yet. So it feels very twin flamey. And a past life karmic mate always has the potential to step up into a twin flame. But it's, again, they have free will, and a lot of times they choose not to. But what I'm telling you, they don't do it on their own. They don't. It's like you have to make them. There's a reason why they say that love does it. They say because it makes you surrender. Otherwise, it's like this person is like, doesn't want to be confronted. Otherwise, I feel like you're always going to be in a relationship where you're trying to talk to this person. And they're going to see it as like attacking or controlling, which it's not. That's, again, another sign of the wound. Like they don't hear things properly. You're judging me. It's like, no, I'm not judging you. It's like, I'm telling you what you did. But you didn't sugarcoat it. Yeah, but if I sugarcoat it, then you don't understand and what it is. Or you didn't tell me that. It's always like you feel like they're weaving in and out of traffic to avoid. And it's irritating. So that's why I said it's like, as long as you play the game, they're going to play the game back. That's what the issue is. And the thing is, knowing that, you have expectations, but this person, like you said, will look at it like you're being excessive, like overstating the situation. Like you go on and on and on about it. No, it's the original same problem that you don't fix, that you don't want to address. So I feel like it's not the very first connection that you had. It doesn't matter what lifetime. You need to look at the wounds, and it's the fact that it's the spiritual blocks. And if you think that this person is going to be actually open to hearing the spiritual thing, they don't. What they do listen to is things with the physical realm. Like a person that's very narcissistic pays attention to a lot, like how things look. So they want someone that's, again, on their side, that looks good. And again, their life looks good, makes them look better. And they also want, money. They tend to be good with money. I hate to say it. There has never been a business person that I have never met that is like a little bit narcissist, because they're able to strategize. That's the way that mind works. So what Spirit's saying is, if I linked you up with this type of energy, it means that you need to integrate some of that energy into your life. If you want to manipulate that person, you would have to step into that energy. That's what it is. Where this person, if they want to be with you, they would have to step into your energy. Hey, be a little bit more emotionally intelligent. Hey, be a little bit more vulnerable. Hey, don't be so selfish. Surrender your ego. See that thumbs up? That's right. That's the Holy Spirit saying, that's right, motherfucker. It's like that person would need to step into your energy to integrate the spiritual lesson, to create balance, because we already know that they're in balance. Otherwise, you're setting it up to be in like a trauma bond, something that there's a lot of passion, but there's also a lot of pain, because this person doesn't want to do the healing. So that's why I'm saying, yes, and that's why I'm saying, Gloria, if you step into that energy where you're working on yourself and you're like, hey, now this person that has attention, because they already were attracted to you. They already see that sensitive side. They already like all those things. But they could always justify and say, well, your life isn't as good, or this or that. But then you become the entire package. That's what I'm saying. It's like, because of that, they get that cocky energy. And that's why I'm saying you have to look, if you want to shape shift this situation, you would have to like step into the energy to integrate what needs to be healed with inside you to create balance, and understand that would inevitably force this person, and they don't volunteer to all of a sudden become vulnerable. Trust me, at one point in their life, they learned how to shut those emotions off. So it's a scary process for them, the same way that, and a confusing one, the same way that you're like, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with the rest of my life and how to support myself. You know what I mean? As Spirit says, everybody has blockages. It's just where the blockages are. But no, a lot of times your past life karmic mate has the same wounds that you did. It's just you learned how to survive differently. You learn, and in that you have gifts, different gifts. And so that's why it's done. Otherwise, that this person would keep it upside down. And I just feel like upside down is, I don't know whether we're coming or going or what's happening. And that's because this person's not balanced. They're not balanced because, like I said, they on some level, narcissists, as I said, they don't know who they are, right? They create a lot of personas. They create a lot of illusions. And during that time that they're doing all that, they're not creating themselves. They're too busy trying to hide who they perceive that they are due to the experiences that they lived, which is not who we are. We are not our experiences. And so, like I said, this person does have trauma. It's not like they don't, but they have to create that chaos in order to keep you linked. They're not going to, if they're not going to be vulnerable and transparent, how else am I going to keep you linked? It's going to be through the passion. It's going to be through the lower energies, which is passion. It's going to be through manipulation. It's going to be through a little bit of gaslighting, where you're like, well, you're always the bad guy, but you're always projecting like I'm the bad guy. Like I don't make things easy, like I make things difficult, when that's always going to be the energy if this person doesn't want to rise up. And that's what I feel like for you, they're not going to rise up as long as you play ping pong, and as long as you don't get out into the world and do those things. Because once you do, then you'll never see that person move so fucking fast. I'm telling you, because if there's love, you believe it or not. And if things are happening and you're getting attention, believe me, the ego is like right there, like, oh, well, I've been over there. Let me hold your books. Yes, I'm with her. Yes, yeah. Like, move out of the way. I'm important too. Move out of the way. I found a place for me too. Because that's what they do. It's like, that's what they want. It's like, and that's how you manipulate that. And remember, it's like, it's not done by force. You can't. And you can't guilt the person. You can't shame the person, because they already have all those shadows. That's what narcissist is. It's like they have guilt, they have shame, they have, and those are the things that keep playing out. So by you making them feel bad, they're like, I know this about me. I know this about me. So it's like, you're not making me to, like, telling me something that I don't know, but it's telling me that I am not going to, like, even try and change. Thank you. You know, and that's why I'm saying it. Otherwise, you'll always feel undervalued. And that is really the core wound for you. I always feel like I'm the person that gives the most love. I'm the person that does. I'm the person. So why do I always feel like I'm always being treated undervalued? And Spirit says, because me first, I'm a jealous God. That's through you first. And you're not doing you. So you're looking for this person to give you what you need to do for you. And that's against spiritual law. And so it'll, like, again, and that's the power that that person has over you. It's like, they're like, well, you know, yeah, we have a connection, but my life, and their ego. So that's why Spirit's saying you're undervaluing yourself, because you're like, change instead of, I know I can get better, you know, and really, not saying that you want to do that, Gloria, but sometimes we have to be like, you know what? I don't care that I love you. I know I can get better. I know I can get better, and I'm going to show you that I can. And that's how you, we don't want to do that. Understand? No one wants to do that. So you better be attached to something that you're passionate about. So you're not just saying it, so that that person really feels that you cut your energy off. I don't care whether you're going like knitting baskets, you know, like, and with a bunch of like grandmas, as long as you're out and about. Because let me tell you something, you cut the energy off, your mind can't be in two places at one time. That's the empath and narcissist connection. You cut it, it's towards your passion. That person's like, they must be talking to somebody else. They must be I'm telling you, they must be talking to somebody else. And then they get curious. So, and so you starve them out. It's like, it has to be, because like I said, otherwise you're not going anywhere. We've been playing ping pong, and as well, while we were playing ping pong, I was talking to a few other people in Instagram, and a few other people, but you didn't know. And not that I like those people, but I had to get attention. You're starving me out. I had to get attention. So that's why I'm saying you got to play this smarter than what you're doing. It's like, otherwise this person's going to take you down. And it's like, and you'll be like, but we had such a strong connection. And it's because they're not healed. It has nothing to do with you. But again, you'll be the victim. And that's what I said. It's like, and that could be the reoccurring theme too, where it's like the karmic consequences for this person by you changing, there are none. He becomes a better version of himself, and so do you. You know, but they're not going to be different. They don't know how to be different. It requires change. It requires you to change. You know, and that's really what it is. It's like, yeah, so what I said, like, you have to starve them out, but like, and not just starve them out, but it's like really have a great life. Like, because then it's like, what this person, when they go stalking and they look, they're like, well, she went to Dancing with the Stars, and who's that person? There's Juan. Juan is like, when did she meet this person? It's like, oh, and now look, she's going here with her friends, and here is like, she doesn't care whether I'm in her life or not. It's like, that's what that person would say. That's what anyone would say, since you know that, narcissists will stalk. Because again, I'm not emotionally intelligent, so I can't show you how I truly feel. I have to do it from the sneaky. So it's, again, that's what that is. So you want to give them the show. All right, no problem. I'm going to give you a show of a lifetime. My life is great. I'm having a great time. Every day, something different. And I have girlfriends, I have guy friends. You don't know whether those guy friends I'm dating, you don't know who they are. For that matter, you don't know if those girls that I'm hanging out with, whether I'm dating, you don't know anything. You don't know nothing. And what I'm showing you is a different side of me. And that different side you didn't know existed. It's like, and that's really what it comes down to. Hey, Kat. It's like, you have to do it. Otherwise, you'll never win. It's like, and it's really, Spirit says, I bring people into your life to help you grow, to change, to help you integrate certain energies. And so we have to turn around and look and see what those traits are that person is good at. And then we understand, we already know what they're not good at. So you can make this person feel good about themselves by, again, helping them, like building intimacy through what they're good at. It's like, because that makes them give. An empath, a narcissist doesn't want to open up their heart. Their heart is closed. So you have to make them give, and they don't want to give, but they can give of themselves. And that's through, again, you trick them. Like, oh, I really need this, because they feel good about themselves. They feel important. And then hopefully they'll find their own way, their unique unfoldment process of, hey, if I'm good at this, maybe if I feed it more, it'll grow. Because that's how God makes a way where there is no way, just for you, just for me. We have our own unique individuality. This person doesn't have one. The narcissist is like void of who they are. They don't know who they are. That's why they feel that they're flawed. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, I always have to handle this with love. And Spirit says, well, you're an empath. That should be easy for you. So it's about love. But hey, you're getting fucking burnt here. Like, we don't do that either. Spirit says you got to find your balance with it. And you can, if you're getting fed from different sources, and that's emotionally fed. Like, oh, well, on Monday I went dancing. On Tuesday I had bingo with Florence. And on Thursday went skydiving with Jermaine. And it's like, I have a rich, full life, and emotionally I'm being fed. It's like, then it takes that expectation off the narcissist. Like, this person just loves me. And they learn what unconditional love was, because at one point they were told they weren't. As you, again, were shown that as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be attracted to this person. This person wouldn't be there. On some level, you were like, I'm not, like, someone important didn't make me feel loved. And so, and where Spirit says, but you are love. Because you're me in physical form, and all I am is love. So that's not possible. It's like, no, seriously, look, this isn't working. Spirit says, well, you put your pants on like your shirt, it's going to look fucked up. It's like, there's many different realities that play out at one time. Do something different. Change the core belief. You're like, well, I changed the core belief, but I'm not seeing results. Then Spirit says, then embody the core belief and walk the walk. And you'll manifest it, but you got to become it. You got to become it. You got to become it. And that's really what it is. And no, you won't be the victim, but you don't want to play this ping pong game either. Like, it's like the light switch goes on, the light switch goes off, the light switch goes on, the light switch goes off. It's like, I'm not playing this crazy ass game. It's like, I have a life. And that's what you need to show. You want to play that game? You go ahead. Look how immature you look. Because I am not playing it. I'm over here dancing with Jermaine, like having a good time. Yeah, we have, a competition next week that's going to be televised. Yeah, that's right. It's like I'm doing things. I'm going places. My life is exciting. I don't have time for this. That's how you slap a narcissist across the face without slapping them across the face. Because you say, my life is real. Your life is illusions. That's what it is, because you're not a narcissist, because that's not who you are. But being that you think that that you are, you know, overcompensate by creating facades and wearing masks and having me perceive that you don't really care, because you're not showing any feelings or any emotions. So it's like, okay, I'm not playing this game. But that's what it is. It's like, as long as you're attached, so you really have to be like, you don't say a word. You never say a word, because if you think that this person doesn't know what they do, they know what they do. And you say, hey, you know what you're doing? Just, they're like, of course I'm doing that, but they're going to say no, and they're going to be, again, create, so your life is upside down, like you're chasing your tail. And so it's like, what you do is you just action. No words, none. Not, I'm doing this, you need to change, you need to, nope. Disengage. Nothing. Because this narcissist will think, oh, I really got that. And they'll be playing the game. And they'll be playing the game for like 3 or 4 months until they realize that you walked away. And then they'll panic. Because, hey, you walked away for a few months. How long have you walked away for? Who have you been talking to? How come you haven't been around? It's, again, you have to, again, disengage completely. Because as long as I have you a little bit, I have you hooked. And that's because it's like, I'm also showing you, you're actually showing me right now too, that I could give so little and I can keep coming back. So you think that you're punishing me, but I'm actually showing you. And that's what the narcissist does. And it's all, and because there's consequences. You think that you're going to play this game with me and that you're going to get away with it. It's like, no. And that's why I'm saying it's like a dangerous thing, where that's, you got to get stronger. The illusions, and like, again, and that's by creating boundaries. They hate boundaries. Narcissists hate boundaries, because it's like they don't want to have rules. And it's, again, you don't get the red light special. You get the special of the week, which unfortunately is like 2 weeks past due rotten food, but you can still get it. It's like, it's edible sometimes. It's potluck. Just like the energy that you've given me. Remember that potluck energy? Like, sometimes it was great and sometimes it was real shit. Well, guess what? We're going to play that game, and it's going to be like, now you don't know. It's like, and that's why I'm saying that he does like a good challenge. Narcissists love that, because it's, again, they're always strategizing. They're in their head. So it's, again, and when you hold your ground, they don't like it, but they'll respect you. That's what, well, listen, you create that, but sometimes they're not a full-blown narcissist. Sometimes it's, I'm just fearful and I'm acting like a narcissist. And also, if one does really have feelings for you, yes, it does. It's, again, but you would have to make them have invested in you, and how much time, energy, focus, and money they've put into you. So yes, I've seen it, because I've had it happen to me. So they will change, but you essentially have to starve them out and live your best life, and right in front of their face, so that when they go and compare you to everyone else, they always come up short. So yes, you can, because then their ego gets pissed off. Like, why are you there? And how dare you walk away? And I thought you were this person, and they can't deal with that. However, they'll most likely want revenge. So you're right in the aspect of boundaries don't work, because in the long run, you're going to have consequences for those boundaries. Now, if the person's not really a narcissist, but they act like a narcissist, then it's, again, it's a good way you can tell. And like, again, if you starve them out and then that person actually puts in energy and they're really trying and but it would have to be a long time too, Gloria. Like, change doesn't happen overnight. It's like, because person gets comfortable and then they're like, oh, well, then you're just going to lapse back into routine, where you have to, again, that's why you have to change. You have to have a love affair in your life so that it's like, oh no, it's not going to go back to like Netflix and chill. You're not coming over for dinner. I'm not doing all that for you. It's like, you're not saying that. You're showing them that. They're like, wait a minute, like I thought that we were dating. And it's like, we are. But this is what it looks like. Dating. It's like, and then you should say, I want to be courted. Like, am I special to you or like what? It's like, we're not married yet. It's like, I don't know whether I want you. It's like, I mean, you're so worried about whether I like the other way around. No, no, no. It's like, that's what it is. It's not hurting people, but you'll feel like it's hurting people because again, you're an empath and you're like, well, that. So this is learning not to think about that person. Remember, don't go by the law. I treat people the way I want to be treated because guess what? You're going to overgive because you haven't gotten anything. So what you want is the buffet style, which is I wanted to have everything and I want to have all the desserts too and I want to have the buffet. Where this person is like, no, well, I'm going to give you like McDonald's. Like it's like completely different. It's like where if you want that type of life, you have to say, I'm gonna show you how I want to be treated. So you see, I'm up at the buffet. So you see, I like to have a lot of different things. It's like I'm showing you, I'm not telling you. So it's like there's nothing to feel bad about because it's like that person hasn't earned it. And that's what it is. And that's why the empath and the narcissist relationship work out. They do because one overgives and the other doesn't. And then when you try to create boundaries, they play a lot of games unless you go higher. But when you do go higher and then you let that person in, once they get comfortable, they screw you over because again, that like it's competition. It's I want to get what I want. And that's why I'm saying it's unless they do it for a long time. Then like if a person has actually been courting you for like a year and a half, and they've invested in you, then understand they would be, like probably still a narcissist, but you would know what buttons to push. You would know how they work. You would know how to deal with them. Because it's not that it's not. Otherwise, like again, this person deceives. I'm always strategizing. Because commitment scares the shit out of them. And that's because of them, not you. However, your wounds will stay. You make me feel like it's because of me. And Spirit says, aha, why is that there? And you're like, why is what where? And how was that person able to make you feel that way? They do, and Spirit says they shouldn't be able to. It's again where if you were living your best life, then you'd be like, well, that's your issue, and they would look foolish doing it. And that's why I'm saying it's more or less like that. So let's take a peek and say, well, what are they going to do? Do they understand the connection? What is the spiritual significance, if there's any? Like, is there how are they going to play it? What's going to happen? What's going on? Give us direction, because we already see who they were and what they did do, and I explained to you why. Now will Gloria's play or anyone else that's playing Mexican standstill, is it going to work? I already know that it won't, because I played that game before, and they've done. I'm trying to leave my comfort zone with this issue. So it's again by you again cutting your energy off. It's like I said, this person would, again, because there is love there. That's why I said I don't know if they're a full-blown narcissist. If it's, again, I feel like they show signs of it, yes, but any person that's like my way or the highway is going to display that. And you haven't been strong enough for me to really be able to determine. And I say that because a business person will be like, well, hey, listen, if I could get away with it, I'm going to do it. Hey, if I have to give less and you don't know your worth, hey, that works out for me. And that's the deceiving part. That's where you better know your worth. you better no. Otherwise, like you said, because this person, when they do have feelings, they will leave their comfort zone, not because they want to, but because love is the strongest energy. It's the energy of the universe. It's the energy of God. It's the energy that's inside of us. We can't manipulate it. So understand, like, it doesn't mean that this person wouldn't fight their ego and procrastinate and get in their own way, which is how this reading started. Remember, with the last getting on and how many problems there were. It's like, oh, now I'm flustered because you're changing it up and I don't really know how to handle it. It's like you're making it difficult. That's why you said then that person leaves their comfort zone. Again, this person's inner child will realize that they need healing, but Spirit's saying, hey, this is both your inner child that needs healing. That's why this person's in your life. And I haven't even pulled the inner child cards yet, all right? So Spirit's saying it's making this person dig deep inside of them, and that's not a comfortable thing. People don't volunteer. Hey, yeah, bring me back to that time that I was molested. Yeah, like when I was a kid. Or better yet, no one thinks that way. And people are like, no, I want to avoid that. That didn't happen. I didn't remember. It wasn't a big deal. Or I numb myself. That's what they do. They don't just do that. Expand your concept of what a twin flame is. It's more than a romance. It's a deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. So this is actually a twin flame connection, Gloria. Is that this person has the potential to rise up if you rise up. And that's what I was saying when it says, think of like what it means. It's to heal in order to embody love and light. So what did I say? You have to become unconditional love. Because that's the energy, again, the perfect energy, the energy that you're born with, right? Is just, again, unconditional love. Babies, when you look at them, they're not prejudiced. They don't have any concept. They're just clear. Well, again, Spirit says that's how you were. But being that you were born into a family that, again, didn't make you feel nurtured. And I feel like this person too. So it's, again, in order for a soulmate twin flame connection to work out, like I said, you'd have to step into that energy. And that's what Spirit's saying. It's more than just the passion and the friendship and like, hey, I know that we have a connection. There's a real purpose behind it. It's only through that passion, the fire. In alchemy, we know fire transmutes blocks. It's the only energy that can actually change. That is it. Well, that's the thing. I think for you, Tala, it's more about you listening to Tarot to see like how you can disconnect and to help you understand that that had nothing to do with you. If you feel like this person is not going to change, then it's more or less like then you're still listening and hoping because there's nothing else to take its place. And the reptilian mind is the survival mind. And when a person is a full-blown narcissist, remember, they've created a bond to you. So there's a little bit of an attachment. And so without incorporating something new into your life, like then it's like you would always want to hope. You would always like, again, because there is that connection of love there too. The person's just broken. And the thing is, the only way that they're going to change is when you change. That is it. Remember, that's the rule of thumb all the time. And they will change because there's passion. So I'm not saying, Dala, that they wouldn't change at all. I feel like you need to really step into like your shit. That's the same thing. Same thing as Gloria's. It's, again, if there's love there. Now, does it mean that they would be the easiest to deal with? Hell no, they wouldn't. But if you're really like, I'm having a good time, I'm like really like, it's like you have to be tough, you have to be strong, and you have to, again, cut your energy off. Love is still love. You know, it's just if they're really north, they're going to continue to try to get you to go back to the original energy too that they met you as, because they know, hey, at one time you used to do it, at one time. So you don't have any ammunition if you're not interactive in your own life. You can't say, no, I'm sorry, I have other plans. I would like, again, now my friends are going to be here in like 10 minutes. Can't do it for you. I'm not around. It's like you have to put them in a position. And will they get mad? Absolutely. Will they cheat? Absolutely. Will they do? Absolutely. But there's only one of you. And after that, they have exhausted themselves. A lot of time I've seen them come back. A lot of times you might not want them, but when they come back, but nevertheless, that's what it is. Well, I feel like, again, sometimes when people say don't text, they're like, please text, please show me more, because you're not giving. It's a manipulative tactic of I need you to, you're not hearing me, you're not doing something for me, I'm frustrated. And so, and that's what I feel like that is. It's more like I'm going to, like, that's a reaction of I'm frustrated and you're not listening. So I can't do anything with this. And I'm hoping in the fact that I tell you not to, that you will beg and plead and tell me that you don't want to do that, so that I have an idea where the fuck we are in this relationship. And that's usually why people do that. Unless you cheated, unless they're cheating, unless there's other things, which I'm not really feeling that. I feel like that's just I'm immature, and as I'm stay immature, I'm gonna try and control. I'm gonna try and do that, and that's why I'm saying. I want to pull just the inner child cards again to see why you attracted this person into your life, because a lot of times there's more things that once you integrate, well, you balance out the energies. Sometimes, I know one time I thought that there was hey, Taco. But you know what's crazy? One time I thought that I met my twin flame, and then once I integrated the spiritual lessons, I didn't have the connection to the person anymore. It was like whatever that crazy passion was, like once I saw it, it's like I couldn't see that person the same way. And so if it's something that's also like toxic, Tala, I know I'm probably not saying your name right, then that's what you do. Once you heal the other aspects of your inner child, you're like, you change so much that you're just like, I can't even fathom. It's like someone that you dated and then you look back 3 years ago and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm not even attracted to that person. Who was I? Where was I? Was I on drugs? Like, that's what it is. And it's because you change. Yeah, you need to, Gloria, step away so you can feel your absence. That's exactly what it is. Again, resilience, to build resilience. So you may have always had resilience, but Spirit's saying, well, you're not displaying it. It's a gift. It's either a gift or it's something that you needed to integrate. And I'm kind of feeling with you, Gloria, is something that you need to integrate. Dala, I feel like you already had it. Resilience. It's like where it's like you're like, again, a little bit weaker, Gloria, like I want this person to like come back, and of course, shame. That's the worst one in my opinion. And shame could just be, again, we inherit shame sometimes if our parents suffered with financial issues, alcoholism, whatever it is, we inherit it. Also, if we, were needed to be seen as perfect, right? Again, that's the opposite of shame. We feel flawed. And that's so, again, we feel inadequate. We feel, again, so this is a deep root chakra imbalance. And when you have shame, you definitely need to see a different version of yourself, because Spirit says you're not shame. There's no such thing as shame or guilt. But it would also understand why you attracted a narcissist, because as I said, narcissists hold on to shame and guilt. It's the same thing, right? Well, that's what it is, Gloria. It's that. That's why you attract narcissists, because of the shame. Where Spirit says you're not shame. You need to integrate that spiritual lesson in order to really transmute that negative energy. Otherwise, it's like victimization will play out as shame, like that type of energy where you're like, okay, like why do these things happen to me where I'm a good person, and the reason why is because it's not, you're not valuing yourself enough. You still see yourself as that. Where I always think shame, I relate to that as almost like inadequate. Like I feel inadequate. It's an embarrassing energy, shame, whereas spirit says you're not that, but your person also has that. That's why it said to deal with them with love when they come back around, and we see that they're kind of come back around. But it's only through starving them out. It's like, but that's shame. Remember, they need someone that's going to nurture them and make them feel good, and no one else is going to do all that you did. And that's the thing. I think that sometimes the universe says, this person would never invest in anybody. So you kind of have to show them who you are first, and then show them that other side of you, so that they're like, no, I want that first side back. I want the original you back. I don't like this side of you. And it's like, well, that's the side that you're getting. And gave and helped heal. Yeah, him physically, he gets close and then runs away. I'm always the first out to reach out. He lives long distance. You can't chase. You can't chase, because it's not that you guys aren't good catches. See, they'll make you feel as if you're not, and they'll try to undervalue like the connection because of their inadequacy. So that's why I'm saying you actually have to step into your best self to deal with a weak person. And the people will tell you no, because if that person really loves you, they will step it up. Now, does that mean they'll do it where they can be consistent? A lot of times, no, they can't, but they will try. And that's the whole point. And completely well, that's the thing. It's like you talk, but it's like, right, I think like you talk to him, but now it's like you have to show this person like a different side of you. Like when it's happened to you, it's more like, let me be interactive in my own life. Let this person think that I'm talking to other people. It's like, and if they want something, let them like see if they're going to do something. But understand, a lot of times once they get you back, they revert back to the same way. If it wasn't a long time, that you have to show this person, this is who I am. It's like, and believe me, even if you're the perfect person, they're going to look for a flaw. It's like you have a love affair with your life. It's like what you're telling this person is, why wouldn't I do that for myself? You don't do it for me. But you're saying that without saying it. Saying like, it's like if you don't give it. And also eventually, if this person really isn't giving you anything, eventually you'll meet somebody else and that person will give you, because that's the universe way of saying, bravo to you. You gave yourself love. Send in the next person behind curtain number 2. Like, and they'll come, instead of you got to stay with this person. No, what you're doing, because spirit says, well, you think I want them to stay in that energy? I don't want them to stay in that energy. Once you change, well, that's like giving them a smack across the head, because they do have feelings. They just think that they, can outwit you. They think that they can, and it works, because it works on most people. So spirit says, if you change, you automatically change them. You see a different result. So like I said, it's more or less all relationships are like that. When you get a real karmic narcissist, a lot of times what it is that you grew up with that certain type of energy, and you have to learn how to master that energy, because there's still pain. Like, again, I've noticed, like, if it says honor mother, father. So a lot of times if there's still pain around mother and father because mom or dad was a narcissist, well, spirit's saying, I need to show you what this looks like, what this really is. You're looking at it like, they're my parents and they were this people that should have, where really spirit's saying they were just people. And this is what it looks like up close and personal, that it's not you. It's bringing out your wounds, but it's all these person's flaws. And that's what your family dealt with. So that's the only way you could, because you can't go back in time. So what happens is we continue to relive these karmic themes and that the karmic theme. So it's been 9 months that we have been apart. Mid June and July, we went to 3 concerts together, no sex. And I think that that's the way, again, build the relationship, like I said, because you're teaching this person. And then be very interactive in your own life. Be very interactive. So, because like every day, I can meet somebody else. I'm not telling you that. I'm not manipulating you. I have to do this because I have to trust myself. Until you actually come in and do that, like, you can't. And that's the thing. I think in the beginning of both you, Gloria, and you, Thal, like, you entered into the relationship being like, well, I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. And that's a big no. Because you give too much. You just give too much. And you're like, well, how do you know how much to give? And Spirit says, well, if you were really invested in your life, you'd say, I'm sorry, I'd love to go out to dinner, but I really can't because I have this tomorrow. But see me next week. You're teaching that person, I'm not always around for you. I got a life. It's like they need to do that. Yeah, see, foster parents never made you feel good about yourself. And that is the root chakra. And that's the shame. And that is why I didn't get love. And that's why that keeps playing out. So you have to reparent yourself. And you reparent yourself by having a love affair with yourself. That's right, darling. I'm having a great time with myself. I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm hanging out with this one, I'm hanging out with this one. You're not offering me anything. It's like, so I'm not going to tell you that you're not offering me anything, but it's like, I don't, like, this is what I do for myself. This is how I would treat you too. However, I'm not going to do that for you if you're not doing it for me. And that's all that there is. And really, once a narcissist has showed you that they are okay with not doing it, well, then you don't get equal give and take reciprocity at first. You got to prove yourself to me. And that is because you were a little too comfortable in not giving. It's like, and I want you to know that I noticed. And I do think about how little, because it's, again, they need to experience a little bit of that shame because they don't want to feel it. But it's like, there it is. It's like, this is how you treated me. I don't treat you that way. That's not who I am. And that's what you're saying. If you're saying you showed this person a different version of yourself, you're like, that's not who I am. And you know goddamn well that's not who I am. It's like, this person's like, that isn't, and I misjudged you. It's like, and it's like, yeah. And because of that, there's consequences. You will be paying the tax, and it's going to be a hefty one, because now I have trust issues. You created intimacy problems, which is trust. So I don't think I could go to the bedroom for a really long time. You see, I have trauma around your trust issues. So you're going to have to really, really prove it to me. And if they care about you, they will. And that's what you would need to see. Otherwise, Dolly, that you'll never heal that wound. And Gloria, you won't, because you're like, okay, well, I need to see it. Otherwise, I won't trust you. I can't trust you. And that's how narcissists ruin that connection, the empath and sensitive relationship. It becomes a trauma bond, and because it becomes so toxic. And it becomes so toxic because it's the one person is treating you, and you're trying to like manipulate it, control it, to do. When we talk about surrender, to have spiritual equilibrium, which is balance, it means that I surrender and I'm putting my energy into myself. It's like, because this person, as long as you got a fight there and that you're strategizing, they don't care. Give me a little, give me a lot. Hate me, love me, I'm still in your mind, I win. That's Shakespeare. Well, that's the narcissist logo. Like, it doesn't matter. It still ends in my favor. Not if I'm not playing the fucking game. It's not. It's like I'm over here doing the tango with somebody else, having a grand old time. I'm not playing your game. So first of all, you're delusional. That's what I'm showing you. And you don't know me at all. And because you don't know me, I think that you need to invest a lot more time into figuring out who I am, because I can't have someone treat me like that. It's like there needs to be consequences. And like I said, it's your job if to bring a person to God. Do you know that? And what does that mean? Well, God is unconditional love. It's the energy of the universe. And if that person really loves you, believe me, they will surrender their ego. Doesn't mean that they won't put up a fight. They'll put up a fight. Trust me. It's like, listen, I have woundage here. This is why I've been avoiding and created all those illusions and did all this. It took me years. It took me a lifetime to orchestrate this. Well, it's again, Spirit says, well, it's a house of cards. And it makes you weak, and you can't manifest because you're not your true self. The universe only listens to what's real. And that's why people go through dark nights of the soul. That's why people go through tower moments, because the universe comes in and says, enough with this shit. It's like, enough. Whatever this fucking shit is, enough with it. It's like, because none of that's real. So, like I said, and you might say, well, why do I get that person? And then Spirit says, Gloria, you have to learn how to forgive. You had foster parents that weren't nice. Well, they were assholes. And Spirit says, I know, but that's the biggest spiritual one in every single religious scripture. You should know that forgiveness, that it's there for a reason, that you have to learn that. And that means you have to have compassion. I don't want to have fucking compassion for this asshole. So who had compassion for me? And God says, exactly. That's why you need it. It's like, I'm going to make you do it. I don't want to do it. I want you to get somebody to do it for me. That's then Spirit says, no, it doesn't work that way. It's like just the same as your person needs to open up their heart. And that's going to require them to give, not you to give. You giving is disrupting this energy flow that is supposed to be happening here, and you're out of alignment. So Spirit says, it's a no-go for me. It's like, because it keeps you stuck in a place of disempowerment, and that's not me. Remember, you're down there to learn. You're not separate from me. You're unconditional love. But look how you're acting. You're like, I'm fucking pissed off. That's what I'm acting, because this person's annoying. Spirit says, surrender. You'll win. It's like you're not valuing yourself. And that's really what it comes down. And it is so hard to forgive. It's hard to forgive. Yeah, because it's like, I don't want to forgive. It's like, this person deserved it. And Spirit says, well, I don't care whether you forgive the guy down the block that he walked on your curb and you were annoyed. It's like, no, I want the person that really screwed you over. I want the person that shouldn't have hurt you. That's the person that I want. And if you notice, every spiritual seeker, the major ones, like I consider myself one. My mom tried to kill me several times. My father had cancer 9 times. And in my house, it was every man for himself. And I was the black sheep. That's why I have eyes in the back of my head, because you have to pay attention to what's going to happen. I lived in survival mode, where other people, like I said, everybody has spiritual blocks, but we all have to learn them. And Spirit brings those people into our life. So shame's a big one. And that's all about forgiveness, because no one gave you time and attention. It's like, I wasn't worth anything. They made me feel unworthy, not good enough. That's where the shame came from. And that's what this person's making me feel like. And Spirit says, here we go. We've dived deep. Here we are at the location that we needed to come to. It's like, and that's again where Spirit says, and what is this? Wonder. It's like the wonder in you, the wonder in the world. It's like Spirit says, you don't know who you are. It's like, go and have a love affair with yourself. It's like the wonder in you need to find your own gifts, and you'll find them, but you will only find them through going out into the world and trying things. As an empath, you're clairsentient. And clairsentient is, I don't know, I got to feel it. You got to do it. And Spirit says, yeah. So it's about that. Again, So you forgave your parents a while back, but parents, right. But even though, but then you didn't transmute the energy where you're like, well, I forgave, but Spirit says, but you didn't see a different version of yourself. So that's like kind of half done. Remember, it's the integration and then the transmutation process. When we're talking about alchemy, what are we doing? We need to transmute that energy. And Spirit says, I'm expecting to see something different here. It can't still have that wound here. It's like that's still ugly. It's like that still isn't correct. It's like, well, we have a new awareness. Spirit says, I don't care until you embody it. You're down there in physical form for a reason. That's the school. Well, I need to see the test. It's like you studied for the test. Let's see the test. Let's see what you learned. Oh, you didn't learn it. It's like, well, that's what Spirit says, because it's the same thing. The wonder in you, the wonder in the world. It's like, because what'll happen is you get to see a different version of yourself. You connect to different people and situations and experiences that change you, that mold you. You're in the energy of unconditional love. The universe is always bringing you what you need. So there's never a lack of anything, not a lack of abundance in money or any other way. So what it is you're able to then look back at those parents that didn't treat you well and say, you were wounded. You didn't do such a good job with your own life. And no one would volunteer that. You were in pain. I broke that karma. I will not, that chain, karmic chain, that ancestral chain. It's like, but I almost inherited it. And that's really what it comes down to. It's that you have to transmute the energy. That's like, I always use this example, like the guy from America's Most Wanted. What do you think? That guy like didn't just say like, oh, okay, someone kidnapped my kid and murdered him and cut his head off and threw it in the river, and like he couldn't get out of bed. He was in so much pain. He was in so much like trauma that he said, I had to do something. I had to like, and he channeled it into purpose. Well, that's what empaths are supposed to do. They're supposed to take that pain and turn it into power. They're supposed to channel it to power. Empaths are actually very strong. And that's what the narcissist always sees. The narcissist always sees the good qualities, and they hope that you guys don't see the good qualities. Finally broke the pattern, attracted non-committal men I fall for, but I'm wounded because it was June. Well, I feel like nurturing. It all goes back to the same thing. It's like time, and you know what I mean? Time is what heals, but then also, again, continuing to like invest in yourself, because, like I said, you're going to become someone different altogether. And that allows you to see your situation differently. Otherwise, you can't see the situation differently. You're like, this person just was an asshole. This person just, where Spirit says that's not, it's like that person's wounded. And you're like, so then why do you bring them to me? And Spirit says, because you're wounded too. Shame is a wound. Again, yes, you learned to resilience, but it's like resilience in your environment was to keep giving, to keep working harder. That love is hard. Acceptance is hard because I didn't get any time and attention. And if all my time and attention went towards trying to please and fit in and be loved, and I definitely wasn't going on and creating myself, and Spirit says, so you don't know who you are. And so that's part of the transmutation process. And and also understand, in you doing that, you're showing your person a different side. You're showing everyone a different side of you. And that's why I'm saying it's a big deal. Protection. And protection is, again, you don't make me feel safe. And I didn't feel safe growing up. And now I've recreated that in this dynamic that I'm living in. And the dynamic is like, I need to like hide the lies and the secrets of how, well, my relationship isn't really a relationship when it's a narcissistic one. Yeah, happy birthday. It's coming up soon, well, 11, not for a little bit. But that's really what it is. You have to transmute that energy and inner authority. So you know the truth. Inner authority, like this kid always like reminds me of like rebellious, like, but it's like I'm tough, I'm strong, and I have that. I have knowing. The inner authority to me is always that higher self, the God part of self, which is like, I know. And believe me, if you use clairsentience a lot, because you're an empath, you have claircognizance, which is, I don't know how I know, but I just know, because spirit says the two kind of work together. It's like the more that you again use clairsentience, I know I have claircognizance, which is because I had to have eyes in the back of my head. So clairsentient, which is I can feel, and that the two work. So you have that, and spirit says that's really your protection, and that really you don't need to like lies and secrets. It's again, at this point, you need to give yourself the time and the attention, because you do have resilience to again actually transmute this shame. And the only way that that's going to happen is to create a new version of yourself, because shame means like, I'm embarrassed to be myself. I'm embarrassed of this. And spirit says that's not who you are. That's not even, that doesn't even exist. Well, that person made me. Spirit says, yeah, you lived in an environment that made you feel, but remember, you created survival mechanisms in that atmosphere, which was to overgive, to be a people pleaser, to again any little thing to get love. But you were a little kid, and little kids are like, well, how is this going to work out for me? Let me do what I think that you need for me to do. And then it's still not good enough, because again, you were raised by people that were not happy, nice people. So that's why spirit's saying is, that's never going to work until you actually embody something new. And then you'll be able to, it won't matter whether the person's a narcissist or not, because I actually think we all can have narcissistic tendencies, not as bad as like what a lot of people have dealt with, but from time to time. And you would still need to know how to deal with that person, or if they weren't a narcissist, a difficult person, someone that triggers you, someone that again is very like headstrong, which is what happens in relationships. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to, you can't, there's no talking. I told you, no talking, no conversation in the beginning, because if you think that narcissist doesn't know what they're doing, they know what they're doing. They listen to action. Oh, you're not giving me anything. I don't know what happened. Oh, really? You didn't know that you didn't talk to me for a few weeks? So I started to talk to other people. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should have told you, but I guess you should have told me also that you weren't talking to me. They don't like that. But let me tell you, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, then let me try if they really like you. Like I said, because they like to win. So like I said, it's just about being strong within yourself. And really, you might say, well, this is a lot to deal with. But let me tell you something. If you had a narcissistic parent, well, guess what? You're going to wind up with somebody like that, because you didn't learn to work with the energy. And there's a reason why it says honor mother and father. It's because a lot of times we don't want to. We're like, well, how they raised us, what they did, and spirit says it's a rule. You have to. It's like, again, because of that, it's like a lot of times we don't know how. It's like, I don't know how to work with that person. I just avoid them. And the spirit says that doesn't work, because I just bring them in another form. Oh, that boss that you have, Mary Jane, well, guess what? She reminds you of someone, doesn't she? Yeah, she reminds me of my bitch mother. Yeah, and spirit says, yep. And guess who else is coming? Yeah, your mother-in-law. Well, she's also that energy, and this person that you have to deal with for that, they also have that energy. And then it's like, well, why are you trying to make me? Spirit says, because you have to learn. It's like, and it's not through avoiding, and it's not through cursing out, and it's not through getting angry. Is a lot of times it's just through rising above, you know. And that's why I said to you, I said, you will continue to attract narcissists, because It says it. It says it in the spiritual literature, in all spiritual literature, and even Science of the Mind and The Secret and all spiritual texts. What we resist persists, that you're going to get it again. It's like, because the wound is what determines the energy. It's like where you're like, I'm not even thinking about it. Spirit says, but how do you manifest? It's not really what you think about. I mean, it is what you think about, but your subconscious mind really is running the show. And things have happened in the past that are suppressed that you haven't figured out. So that is affecting what you're trying to manifest. So that is why you have to fully dive deep, integrate, and transmute. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And if you have trouble, sign up for my wait list. It's below in the description box. And for my big unveil, because I actually have formulated something to help people heal the effects of trauma. Because again, I've had to do it. I had to heal the effects of trauma. I'm like, I always say, I'm not just the hair club person, I'm the president, or what the fuck ever, the opposite. Like, it's like, I'm that person. I learned to heal through healing myself, and then took a lot of classes and learned a lot, and here to serve you guys. So you can do it. You can change it. You can change karmic cycles. Believe me, that they're made to be broken. Yeah, right. It's like, I'm not just a hair club member. I'm the president. I guess, like, what the fuck? It's like, and Spirit says, remember, you have to see yourself differently. Well, how am I going to see myself differently from this shit? And Spirit says like this. It's like, I will make a way where there is no way, just for you. Never underestimate the universe. And the universe always says, don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike, have a good time. It's again, don't again have expectations. And again, just be, because remember, when you don't have expectations, there's no attachment. When there's no attachment, there is no fear. So we have to surrender and just embody the energy, so we're not thinking about it one way or the other, and that it just fucking manifests. That's the way that it's done. And that when you're in the flow of the universe, well, then you're living your bliss. You're not in the logical, analytical survival mind, right? You're in the passion, and there's nothing that brings a narcissist down than, how dare that person have a good time without me while I'm over here having a crap time. They should be, why are they over there? I should be over there. And it's like, yeah, you could either choose to live life, or you could be stuck in the past. So I want to thank you, Gloria, for supporting my channel, and everyone else that tuned in tonight. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And I will be on more often. But remember, sign up for my wait list if you need help. By the way, the description box probably isn't filled out right now, because I wanted to get back on really fast because of the no sound before. So I'm going to have to fill that out now. But if you want it, just come back or go to another video and you'll find it. You'll find it in the description box. But thank you guys. I love you. Always be true to you. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Embody the energy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.